The first question comes from a student in the Middle East who says, I'm not a Christian, I'm a Muslim, so pardon my question. The 10 Commandments that you talked about certainly provide a very enlightening spiritual guide for people. But compared to the Mosaic Law, where it has a law for every single thing that you are bound to do, the laws that Jesus came with are not sufficient to envelop society like Jewish law or like Islamic law. How do you think that Christianity can fix the world if the absolute law that you demand is not present in Christianity itself? You just can't love your neighbor and love God and make it work. What would you say to that?
That's fascinating, and I well remember that question, John. And of course, I've had a lot of sessions in the Middle East, and I've enjoyed being there. Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, and all of those countries, open forums in Jakarta, Indonesia, or in the Islamic University of Malaysia, and so on. They've been very cordial when I've been there, and even though we're discussing very tense issues, so I've always thanked the Islamic world that has invited me, given me the welcome mat, and so on. But our worldviews are completely different, and this was one of the questions that is raised. Actually, the question is quite wrong in its assumptions. In Islam itself, there are various interpretations. Even the founder himself, also their prophet, talked about the fact of the abrogation, that he was abrogating laws. So there is no absolute even there. Or you take the various sects of Islam, whether you take the Sufis or the Ahmadiyyas or the Seveners or the Twelvers, but the two major areas of the Sunnis and the Shias, world of a difference between their authoritative sources. Is the custom as authoritative in the Shiite sect of it? No, it is much more in the Sunnah, the custom. So that in itself has various assumptions that are not portrayed in the question. But what is critical to understand, as I'm talking to you, especially in the Middle East now, is to realize what a world of a difference there is between the way the law is viewed in your worldview and in the Judeo-Christian worldview. It is this, that when the law was given, it was given, said Jesus, as a schoolmaster, as a teacher, or as a mirror. But when you want to wash your face, you don't go to the mirror. The mirror only tells you that your face is dirty. You have to go to the faucet or to the water to wash it away. And all the law can do is educate and inform. It can never change your heart. But also remember a few other things. Moses gave 613 laws. What did it do? All it created was more chaos. David reduced it to 15. Isaiah reduced it to, I think, 8 or so, and Micah reduced it to 3, to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly before your God. Jesus did not reduce it to 1. He reduced it to 2. To love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your mind and all your soul and all your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. He said, on these two hang all of the laws and the prophets. Why is that so? And in the precedent to the 10 Commandments, the answer is given. So I want you to hear me carefully. God doesn't just go into the 10 Commandments. He said, I am the Lord your God that brought you out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall have no other gods before me. In the Judeo-Christian worldview, redemption is always prior to righteousness. I hope you heard that. Redemption is always prior to righteousness, and then it is followed by worship. Redemption, righteousness, worship. You cannot be righteous until you're first redeemed. You cannot worship until you're first redeemed and righteous. For who shall ascend unto the hill of the Lord but he that hath clean hands and a pure heart? This is the key difference between the two. Righteousness doesn't earn me the prerogative to enter into the kingdom of God, but the forgiveness that he gives, which changes my heart and helps me then to desire and love the law. So all laws can only do symptomatic corrections. The transformation of a heart is what takes you to love the law and helps you to abide by it in expression of gratitude and worship of God. So there's a world of a difference between the two positions here on what the law is actually about. In fact, one more thing. Jesus took the law to an even higher level in the Sermon on the Mount. He said, you have heard it said, but I say unto you. You have heard it said, but I say unto you. Look, it's not just adultery that's wrong. The way you even look upon a woman, Jesus says, violates what God has intentioned for you. So the world can be changed with the Christian message. The only way it can ultimately be changed through the change of your heart and mine. And only God is big enough to do that.